What is up, NASCAR racing fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing channel, and today we have the 2026 driver introduction video. That's right, all 86 of the mail-in drivers this year, as well as 4 cars for the home team. We're going to be introducing all the drivers. A lot of fan favorites are back from the 2025 season, a lot of new faces too, and a couple of surprising big names that have been replaced, including one of my own drivers. Let's kick it off with your 2025 NASCAR Nitro Series champion in the modified series, Burt Buzzer, driving for Cut Rock Creek Racing. He's driving a mechanically identical T-Bird stocker to the one he drove last year, all the way down to the green translucent wheels. With 3 wins last season, he's got to be one of the favorites to repeat as the champion. And here's the rest of his teammates in the number 89 Impala stocker. That's Harry Hoon. He was 7th in points last season, and that was despite multiple DNFs late in the segments while leading. And now he's trying to break that narrative this year with a new casting and a new number. And up next we have Coffee Tart in the 62, another new casting and a new number. Coffee Tart ranked 9th in the point standings in the stocks last year, made quite a few mod starts as a stock field filler, 6 top 10 finishes, a couple DNFs, driving an 80s T-Bird stocker. That is a vintage casting made in the mid-1980s. And finally, we have Crazy Ruby, got a win at Talladega last year in the stocks, driving the number 71 Circle Tracker. This car was actually built for the Sub 4 RA channel in 2021. This car truly is a piece of history, built to Sub 4 RA's ADRC specifications. Can't wait to see how it performs. And up next for our next team, we have William for Uncle Elvis Racing. Uncle Elvis sent in 16 cars. That is right, 16 cars, by far the largest team, led by William, your 2025 stock champion. Now, William performed double duty last year, racked up the stock title with a race to go, a dominant performance by him last year, sticking with the Bill Elliott 90s castings, but this time he drives a Taurus instead of a Thunderbird. And speaking of Thunderbirds, up next we have Elias, the rookie, driving the number 21 Wood Brothers Thunderbird, also for Uncle Elvis Racing. The first rookie driver we're introducing so far. He's replacing Heather and Clyde, as well as several of these other drivers that Uncle Elvis hired for the Uncle Elvis Empire. Let's see how he does. Car rolls pretty fast. And up next is Sawyer. Drove in the stock series, 24th in points. 3 top 10s, was a little inconsistent. Driving an identical casting to your 2024 champion, Ross Chastain, that Lumina stocker. They're always fast and sturdy on the track. And the next driver for the Uncle Elvis Empire this season is going to be Sterling Marlin. You may know him from the 2024 season. He got 2 wins that year, and he was the runner-up in the point standings. And look at that car, a gold-plated 57 Chevy with the beer logo so we don't get accidentally tagged as a kids channel. And up next is Richard Petty, another veteran of the 2024 season. 2 career finishes of 2nd place, his best career finish on this channel so far, in a tuned Plymouth Roadrunner, the very first tuned car on this channel. Let's see how it does. And up next, we have our first truck so far. Trucks are legal this year, and it's Jeff Bodine, driving the number 7 Exide Ford F-150. The veteran driver made a few starts in a flea market car in the 1991 season, which just concluded. And up next, we have Herbie, the 53 legendary Volkswagen Beetle. The sentient car still has to have a driver. All the real ones know that the OG driver was Jim Douglas in the movies. I can't wait to say now Herbie now as he takes the lead in one of these segments. And up next we have Rowan, who drove one of Uncle Elvis's stocks last year, a Ford Mustang. He switched to a Monte Carlo stocker similar to that of Gray and Skeeter Davis. He does have experience against the mods as a stock field filler in 3 starts last season. But here we have another rookie, another NASCAR driver that hasn't raced on our channel yet. And it's Johnny Benson in the 26 Cheerios Ford Taurus, based on his actual 1999 car. And it's our first donk we've seen, if you count William as a donk too. You'll see a lot more of them later on. And up next is Kyle Petty in the 42. He made his debut at Indy last year, finished 28th in one of the flea market field filler cars. And now he's got a full-time ride with one of the Nitro Series top teams. Driving the iconic 42 Mellow Yellow Pontiac Grand Prix. That's a nice looking car. And up next, we have Chewy, our second tuned car of the day so far, in the 52 Plymouth Superbird. And look at the size of that engine it's packing. I cannot wait to see this thing in action. And up next, we have another NASCAR veteran, Rick Mast, driving the number 6 Chevy Silverado. Sponsored by Remax Real Estate, another real-world NASCAR veteran making his debut on the channel with those fast Mario Kart wheels. Cannot wait to see how those Mario Kart wheels affect it on the track. And another rookie for Uncle Elvis Racing, driving a circle tracker, is Zard. Zard is quite a unique name. I'm not sure if he's even a human or if he's from planet Earth or some other planet. Whatever he is, those circle trackers were fast last year. Now let's see this guy, how he stacks up against Crazy Ruby and Misty G. And speaking of front runners from last season, here we have Bobby Allison back again looking for his first career win in the number 5 Plymouth Roadrunner. Got several podiums last season. In the second half of the year, looking to carry that momentum into 2026. And up next for Uncle Elvis Racing, we have Ted Musgrave, driving a 1997 Hot Wheels T-Bird Stalker based on his car from 1997. Those castings are always fast. Let's see what he can do in the 2026 season in such a T-Bird Stalker. And up next we have for Uncle Elvis Racing, Ratha in the 05 early 90s T-Bird Stalker. That looks like a color changer with Mario Kart wheels. Much like Zard, we're not really sure what planet Ratha is from. Cannot wait to see how he performs out there on the track. And now for our next returning team, we have Po' Boy Racing led by Skeeter Davis. Had 4 wins on the channel last season, 3 wins, 9 top 10s in the stocks, as well as being the only stock to win a mods race, second in points in the stock series last season. Driving a similar casting, the expectations are sky high. And here is his teammate Gator McCluskey, his fellow stock last season, was 14th in the points, only had 1 top 10 finish. All new car, all new casting, driving a Pontiac Grand Prix. He's looking to rebound in 2026. And up next, we have Lucky Jackson, 3rd place in the modified point standings. 4 top 5 finishes, all of which were 2nd place. The most 2nd place finishes for any driver. Still looking for that first career win. Let's see if he does it this year. Returning with his old car, 69 grams. Let's see how he performs in 2026. And finally, we have the boss man, Po' Boy, ranked 5th in points last season. 8 top 10 finishes. Also with a career best finish the second. See if he gets that first career win this year. Great looking group of cars there. And up next we have Puffs Racing. Starting with team owner Puff, driving a Dodge Charger Stalker this season. Now Puff was mathematically eligible for the title as late as week 10 last season. Let's see what he can do this year. And up next for Puffs Racing, we have Misty G. Misty was your points leader for the first quarter of the season in 2025. Has 7 top 10 finishes. Driving a stock car. It's a stock car, not a circle tracker. I believe I called it a circle tracker earlier in the video. It's a stock car, and it's fast, and Baby Richie 1-1 last year. And speaking of Baby Richie, he is moving on to a truck. That's right, driving a Ford F-150. Did double duty in the stocks and mods last season. He won the modified race at Sonoma, the modified comeback driver of the year. 3rd in points in the stocks. Had a great season last year, hoping to replicate that success. And next for Puff Racing is Riot Isaac, another familiar face. 18th in the stocks, 13th in the mods. Was a steady, consistent competitor, moving from Petty Enterprises livery to their arch rival, the Wood Brothers, in that vintage 80s T-Bird Stalker. And finally for Puffs Racing, we have the rookie JJ Smooth, driving a Chevy Silverado number 24. JJ's a veteran of several other YouTubers' channels before making his HSL Diecast debut. And he's got some big shoes to fill for regular Isaac and regular Richie, who aren't racing with us this year. And up next is the Barora Bangers, led by team owner Gaza. 2 wins last season. In this very Chevy Monte Carlo Stalker, coming in with a new sponsor for 2026. Let's see if he can replicate that success he had. And up next for the Barora Bangers, we've got Jimbo Rock for driving a similar Dodge Charger as he did the first half of the stock season. Got 4 top 5s, 3 of them in the first 4 races before a string of DNFs caused him to change his cars. But he's back in the Dodge Charger for 2026, trying to recapture that early season magic. And finally, for the 2026 Barora Bangers, it's only a 3-car team this year, is your Texas Motor Speedway winner, Gale Force. She got that win at Texas, ended up 4th in the total point standings of the mods, driving that 2006 Dodge Charger Stalker. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And now our next returning team for 2026 is In-Laws Racing, a stock-only team last year that entered after week 4 of the season. Russ had his best finish of 12th last season, trying to beat that in a truck, this Ford F-150 from Thor Sport. has seen quite some success. Let's see if he can match it. And up next is Gale. Had a couple of top fives in the stock series last year. Moves over to the mods. And much like Russ, she is in a truck as well. This one being a Spire Motorsports Chevy Silverado. Can't wait to see how the trucks do against the cars. Which one will be the top truck of the season. And up next is Lazy A, formerly known as Lunatic Alicia, as shown by their LA stickers on the back window of the car. Couple of top 5 finishes last season. Ran as a field filler in one mods race, got into the top 20. That's pretty impressive for a stock last year. And up next we have Twinkie Jake, the first of the 2 J's. We're not sure which one of these is the original Far Out J, who was a rolling highlight reel. Got a top 5 against the mods, won a race, driving identical early 90s Ford Thunderbird stockers. Twinkie Jake in the black number 4 and Karate Joe in the white number 17. Not sure which one of these is the original Far Out J and which one of them is a clone. Let's see how they do this season. Can one of these guys replicate Far Out J's success in 2026? And up next is Sloppy Bear Racing, who earned 2 top 10s in the 2025 stock season with Violet. Driving a 1948 Ford Coupe last year, switched to a Dodge Charger stocker this year. Let's see how she does with no more stocks. Everybody's a mod this year. And we have one of the 2 rookies taking Pantoni's place. This is Cyan, replacing Pantoni after he was fired for too many DNFs. And she is driving a similar casting to Pantoni with some added weights. One of the few Toyotas this season. I believe the only other one is also from Sloppy Bear Racing. But first, let's get by Sloppy Bear, the team owner and boss, driving an iconic number 3 Monte Carlo. Last season, his casting was a bit off the pace this year. Let's see if he can turn that luck around and see the success of his star driver. You'll see in just a moment. But first, let's meet his other 2 rookies of 2026. The first is Ruby in the number 20 Toyota Camry, based on Christopher Bell's actual stock car. Race winner. Let's see if Ruby can get a race win this year. 45.3 grams, one of the lighter cars in the circuit. And up next, we have Kenzie, the last of the 3 Toyotas for Sloppy Bear Racing, driving the number 11 Corey Heim Toyota Tundra. Sloppy Bear betting big on these rookie drivers. Let's see if they'll surpass Pantoni's production. And finally, last but certainly not least for Sloppy Bear Racing, is Gray, 6th place in the modified point standings last year. Very consistent driver. This time, he gets rewarded with a truck, Ford F-150 number 99, very similar to Russ's. I'll have to be sure I don't confuse them during the filming this season. And he came so close to winning several times in 2025. Let's see if he can get through this year. And up next, we have Mark Russell Racing, led by his flagship driver, Sparky Racer. 2 top 10s against the mods, 14th in points. Came in as an underdog last year, showed some of the big names that he can compete and run with them. And he's out to prove his top 15 run last season was not a fluke. And he'll be backed up by Kid Zach, who's one of 2 rookie drivers for Mark Russell Racing this year, replacing Elton Sawyer and Texas Terry. Kid Zach, that car was actually painted in the 1980s. Now let's see how this throwback does against his teammate, Atomic Bob, the other rookie driver for Mark Russell Racing today, weighing in at 61.6 grams, driving the legendary Lumina Stalker that Ross Chastain rode to the very first championship on my channel. These cars are always very solid for this style of racing. Let's see how he does. And finally, we have the big star of the 2025 stock season for Mark Russell, Morgan Shepherd. 3 top 5s, 5th in points. Raced his way into several modified races. Let's see how he'll do in a full modified season. And up next, we have J-Bo driving for Dog Squab Racing. He's the team owner. 17th in points last year, was in the top 10 with 3/4 of the season all the way done. Then some bad luck in the later part of the season happened. Let's see if he can turn that around in that Monte Carlo stalker with new sponsorship from a local furniture shop. And here's his new teammate, Tick Drickle in the number 97 IROC Camaro stalker. Dog Squab's replacement for Mike Honcho, who was fired after a string of DNFs throughout the 2026 season. Let's see if Trick Dickel, who I've been told by the boss man is known for his aggressive driving, can reverse that curse for 2026. And up next, our next returning team is Demon Preacher Racing, with a whole new roster of drivers. Bill Z. Bub and Charlie Verney have been fired, and they've been replaced by R.J. McCready in the Ford Taurus Stalker with those lime green tires. Great looking car. Let's see if it'll drive as good as it looks. And up next, we have his teammate John Trent in the Monte Carlo Stalker. This type of Monte Carlo has been known for some exciting racing in both the stocks and the mods last season. Let's see if John Trent can keep up that trend. And now looking at that car, it put me in the mood for Skittles. I don't know why. And up next, our next returning team is Lord Shank Racing. Lord Shank Racing got their first win on the channel last season in the stock series. Had 2 main event appearances in the mods after firing his original driver. Check out his channel. There's some great content. He films racing in the same format as I do. I race there, Puff races there, Mark D races there. Check his channel out. And up next for Lord Shank Racing, we have Gavin McSpadge, who showed some speed last season but spent more time in the HSL junkyard than on the track. I'm sure he would like to cut that number down for 2026, but once again, he DNF'd in qualifying on Lord Shank's channel for the season opener there. And up next, we have his, not sure how they're related, but it's Donald McSpadge in a mechanically identical number 33 Dodge Charger Stalker. And Donald's making his debut on my channel, but he's actually had quite a bit more success than Ronald McSpadge or Gavin did on Lord Shank's channel. See how he does. And up next, we have another contender for Paint Scheme of the Year with Ski Bob. Ski Bob drove Lord Shank's stock in the Modified Series race after he won that stock race at Indianapolis. So he has a little bit of experience on the channel, and with that paint scheme on a Superbird, all eyes are going to be on him for sure. And up next, we have the home team HSL Motorsports led by Johnson Jr., who got a win at Texas in the stocks last season and ranked 8th in the points, driving a Tabasco gold-plated car number 85. At his request, got a top 10 against the mods last season. Should be another great year for him. And up next, we have Tristan Racewelski. He actually got 7th place in the stock series with 5 top 10 finishes, driving that Monte Carlo Stalker. Yellow and black number 68 has become an iconic paint scheme on both this channel and Lord Shank's. And speaking of Lord Shank's Racing, we have Carl Recco, one of my main drivers on Redline Derby Racing, taking the Owlman's place this year, giving the Owlman some rest. And after going viral for all the wrong reasons on ABC All Red Racing, he's trying to rebound and recover his career. He's pretty experienced as he ran a full season on Lord Shank's channel last year in a Thunderbird. Let's see how he does in this treasure hunt Ford Galaxy. We needed one more spot to have an even 6 cars in each Speed Weeks race, so we decided to give our 1991 Nitro Series champion the last ride. But unfortunately, a guy they found sleeping with the fishes in the Hudson River in 1998 was identified as Vito Nightlife last year by DNA testing. So the best we can do is his grandson. No, I wanted Lord Raymond, damn it. Well, he can't do any worse than last season. So at least we have that going for us, and that concludes it all for the returning teams for the 2026 season. And let's kick it off with the rookie team, starting with Lear Fixer Racing, a pair of Camaro stalkers led by number 9 Fuel Tank Frank. Painted in JR Motorsports livery, similar to Puff's cars last season in the Modified Series. Let's see how he does alongside his teammate Murray, driving in another JR Motorsports livery Camaro stalker from Lionel, almost mechanically identical at 62 grams apiece. Lear Fixer is relatively new to the world of diecast racing. Let's see how he does on our channel. And up next, we have Slick Fitty driving for Stupid Fish Racing, a veteran of the ABC All Red channel. Slick Fitty in that beautifully painted Ford Torino stalker. Slick Fitty and his teammate, candidates for Paint Scheme of the Year. You got to see these things in person. These look so much better in person than they do on the camera. And here's his teammate, Cooter Smith. Once again, veteran driver from the ABC All Red channel and other Redline Derby Racing, making their HSL Motorsports debut. Best of luck. And up next, we have Abby Normal Racing, captained by team owner driver Abby Normal, driving the 101 orange and silver Plymouth Superbird. Abby Normal Racing, another team rising through the ranks of Redline Derby Racing, making their channel debut for the 2026 season, alongside his teammate Kid Charlemagne, driving the orange and yellow Plymouth Superbird, sponsored by Pennzoil. This car's a little bit mechanically different from Abby Normal and his other teammate Thunderbolt Joe, who you'll see right now, driving the orange and white number 101 Plymouth Superbird. This car is mechanically identical to Abby Normal's Plymouth. Once again, also sponsored by Pennzoil. These cars look pretty fast on the Sub 4RA channel. Let's see if Abby Normal can get them to show some speed on here. And up next, we have Rancid Cactus Racing, captained by Sonic in the 51 Lumina Stalker. Sonic, one of the 2 new drivers for Rancid Cactus Racing. Check his channel out. He's been putting out a lot of content for RedlineDerby.com in the last year. And up next, here's his teammate, Tails. Tails never fails in the number 6 Ford Taurus Stalker. Now, Rancid Cactus is hosting the Diecast Olympics. I sent in a T-Bird stalker called the Freebird. Check that channel out. Can't wait to see how his cars do on the track. And up next, we have Highway 355 Racing. Starting off with the father and son team of Olukayode Osisanya. I hope I got that right. I know I'm going to butcher it, and I apologize in advance for butchering it, driving a Racing Champions truck decorated like Rusty Wallace's Blue Deuce. And up next, we have Olukayode Osisanya Jr., driving the number 44 Taurus Stalker. I believe all three of these Highway 355 cars are stock because of their weights, 27 grams, 29 grams, and the lightest car of the series overall at 27.1 is Stacy Compton. Believe it or not, says his name on the car, just like Lewis M. in the Lord Shank Racing Series. And he's driving the number 92 Dodge Intrepid, the lightest car of the series this year. Made one start in 2024. And up next, we have the four-car team of Flips Racing, starting with Flip Gambino, the team owner and driver, driving the number 81 Racing Champions Ford Mustang Stalker. And Flip Gambino is the first car I've ever seen to have shaved wheels. The surface is similar to that of a train. Let's see if that gives him an advantage or a disadvantage. We'll see the results in the upcoming Speed Weeks video. And check out this sick-looking donk on enormous FTEs. This is Amber Beach driving the number 28 Matchbox Thunderbird Stalker. Gotta warn you, though, the Davey Allison castings have been cursed on this channel. Only made one start last season. DNF'd a lot of the 1991 races. I know the LCDRL guys are experienced builders. Let's see if they can reverse this curse. And up next for Flips Racing is Remy 12 Gauge. I believe this guy has some experience on the Sub 4 RA channel. Also with the Giant FTE, sponsored by World Championship Wrestling. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to end up a fan favorite. And finally for the Flips Racing, we have Bishop Petty Jr. in the number 43 Pontiac Grand Prix. All four of these cars are pretty fast. You can see on Flip's channel already. He showed these cars off in a video. The link to that is on the NASCAR Nitro Series Redline Derby page. And up next, speaking of Redline Derby, we have another experienced race host sending in cars to us for the first time. Timber Creek Speedway Racing, led by the number 23 Circle Tracker. That's what a Circle Tracker looks like, of Bubba Wallace. I lied about Sloppy Bear having the only Toyotas, as the Circle Tracker is based on the 2007 non-COT Toyota Camry. And here's Bubba Wallace's teammate, the 24 of William Byron. Made famous by the McDonald twins and Burt Buzzard last year. Anybody that shows up in one of these, you got to keep an eye out for. And now for our next rookie team, we have Racer Gnome Racing, led by Racer Gnome himself, driving the number 1 Lumina Stalker. I believe that's the third Lumina Stalker, Ross Chastain style, we've seen on this channel so far. All these cars are always solid racers. They hardly ever DNF. And here's the second driver, Nomio, weighing 65.9 grams. I believe that is a stock. It's a very heavy Monte Carlo stalker. The number 44, you can barely see it on the roof. That's the number 44 Monte Carlo stalker of Nomio. First time we've seen that casting on the channel. And I mentioned a couple cars ago, the curse of the Texaco 28s, Davey Allison and Ernie Irvin castings. We now have Lord Shank tempting fate with his satellite team, Union Racing, led by Jorn, just Jorn. Actually, technically it's pronounced Yorn, but in Lord Shank's racing channel it's pronounced Jorn, so I'm going to call him Jorn or Yorn, whatever you want me to call him. And in 2024, I sent Lord Shank a Yorn car, which got 14th in points, and now he's sending me one. Let's see how he does. And up next, we're going to meet Yorn's teammate, Blaze Thunderstruck. If you've watched Lord Shank's channel, he does that little thunder thing. But unfortunately, he'll have to start the season with an 8-point penalty. We give a gram of grace for the scale variance, but he's 9 grams over, so that is an 8-point penalty for Blaze Thunderstruck to start the season. That's got to be disappointing for him, but let's see if Lucas Sattler Jr., the first of 5 drivers for FPD Racing, also affiliated with the Low Country Diecast Racing League. So he's within that 1 gram tolerance, and that number 21 Wood Brothers T-Bird stalker from Hot Wheels. And up next we have Cowell Petty. That's right, Cowell Petty, different from Kyle Petty in the 42. He's driving the 45 Adam Petty Monte Carlo with wheels from a Disney Cars casting, the first vehicle to have wheels from a Disney Cars movie casting. Let's see how he does. Like I said, we never had such wheels on our channel before. This should be fun to watch. And up next we have Killa Kowalski in the number 28 T-Bird stalker. Picked up some sponsorship from Energizer Batteries. All of these racing champions with modern Hot Wheels wheels are very reminiscent of the Sub 4 RA channel, of which the Low Country guys were a part of. So these are some Sub 4 RA OGs here. including Deuce Andretti in the number 98 Ford Thunderbird Stalker with the Goodyear lettering on his tires. Almost 70 grams. This should be a fun car to watch. And a fun fact, although John Andretti did drive that 98 for a couple of years, that is actually a Jody Ridley casting. The first time we've seen a Jody Ridley casting here, but certainly not the first time we've seen the legendary number 94 McDonald's car, made famous by William and Clyde last season, and in real life by the NASCAR's most popular driver. Not sure if Thomas Elliott here is related to him at all. And with those Mario Kart wheels, looks great with the yellow and red paint scheme, by the way. He is not here to mess around and be a backmarker. And for our next team, we have Skid Marks Racing, led by the 96 Caterpillar Monte Carlo of Skid Mark, weighing in at 36.3 grams. I believe this is a stock, and I'm not sure if this is the same Skid Mark that races on Lord Shank's channel. Let me know if you see this. And up next, we have his teammate, Skidus Marcus, a fan of the Life of Brian movie, it seems. This one's definitely a mod, 48 grams, driving the number 31 Lowe's Mike Skinner Chevy Monte Carlo with that epic looking eagle on the side. I wish I had an eagle noise to record alongside his teammate Marcus Skidis. And that noise you're hearing is actually the car's engine. That's right, you can actually hear the car's engine if you press down on the front axle of this car. I'll be putting that sound clip in a lot of these videos every time his car comes on the screen. I warned you right now. And finally, we have, for 38 grams, Rory for Decepticon Racing, the number 51 Matchbox, the final car of the 2026 NASCAR Nitro Series season. And looking at all 90 cars, that is your field for Speed Weeks. These cars are all locked into Speed Weeks and Daytona 500 qualifying. But it's not too late to join the Nitro Series. You can send cars to HSL Diecast P.O. Box 7, Wind Gap, Pennsylvania 18091. They are going to miss the Daytona 500, but there are still 14 points-paying races, 11 qualifying sessions, and possibly some other content that they will be a part of. So if you haven't signed up and you want to enter the series, or if you're not happy with one of your drivers because he's stuck near the bottom of the points list a couple races into the season, send your cars or your replacements to HSL Diecast, P.O. Box 7, Wind Gap, Pennsylvania 18091. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you out there on the track.